So if you're looking to start an online business with the knowledge that you have, or you have something to share to the world and you want to package it into some sort of online program, you're going to want to watch this video as I interview Melanie Moore, who has done just that. Melanie is a qualified tapping or emotional freedom technique therapist, and she uses this technique on her clients to actually get them the results that they want. She had started brick and mortar offline events in coffee shops, in workshops, in person, but has actually brought all of this into an online business where she serves people in her memberships and her high ticket coaching. So if you're still trying to figure out where to start, you should watch all the way to the end of this video. As Melanie says, she was just trying things from the start, didn't really have a good focus or business model, but now she is super focused on the goals and the vision for her online business and how she helps her clients. So here is the interview that I had with Melanie Moore earlier. Hope you enjoy. Welcome, Melanie. Thank you very much for coming on today. First of all, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while, and where are you calling in from?
I am very good, thank you. Thank you for having me. So I'm calling in from Hertfordshire, about 20 miles north of London. And yeah, it's good. It's, never stops in the entrepreneur's world.
Yeah, amazing. We'll get on to that. I mean, we've met a few times in like the offline spaces. I think it was back in, was it 2017, one of the James Wedmore events you were speaking on stage? That's when I first met you, I think.
Yeah,
Must have been.
Honestly, I can't believe how quickly time flies. It's just unbelievable that so 2017, that's how many?
That's a while ago, yeah.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah. Yes.
So we'll get into all this. First of all, thank you very much for jumping on the call.
My pleasure.
I've been wanting to have this call for quite a while because you do something very unique. And the aim really of these chats, and they are informal chats, is really to help people who are thinking about starting an online business or already have, and it's a bit messy and they don't know where to go. So really it's sort of to try and help anyone sharing any sort of best practice or anyone that's looking to the start of their journey. So briefly tell us what you do, who you serve, and a bit about your background and how you got into the online space.
Right, so I'm a coach, and funnily enough, I was just having dinner with my partner's parents yesterday, and they kind of said to me, "What is it you do, Mel?" We've been doing that for 4 years, but then they kind of, I don't know, so I'm just going to explain to you the way I explained it to them, because it's quite a fresh conversation. So I'm a coach, and I help women who are at crossroads in their life, and the tool that I use is something called tapping, also known as emotional freedom technique, but that's just a tool. I am a coach, and I guess really I'm a life coach. And when I say women at crossroads, it's women who perhaps they've just become a mother, or their children have just started school, or perhaps they're going through a divorce. Or, a lot of women I'm actually helping now are women who are going through empty nest. It's the children are leaving home, perhaps going to university. But at all those different crossroads, it's like you've kind of developed this identity, but it's an identity shift where I feel that I'm also known as a big vision coach, because I love to help people to see what's possible with a bigger vision for their lives, because we can get trapped in identity as a stay-at-home mother or whatever, because I always feel that there's something more that we could do, or perhaps there's things that we've always wanted to do that we have put a lid on, or it's so far in the past that we think that ship has sailed. And I just feel that for a lot of women, I do serve women in particular, that there's still a lot of living to be done, and that we shouldn't just put these dreams on the shelf and think, oh, it's no longer possible. And I particularly like to help people in the realms of environment. So this could be, I want to move, or I want to just shift or change something about my environment. It's relationships. Sometimes our relationships need shaking up a bit. Sometimes, got to walk away from one, or sometimes helping women post-divorce or separation. Also abundance. And this, again, I love this conversation, helping women maybe ignite an entrepreneurial spark, because a lot of women, I didn't really think I had an entrepreneurial spark, that I think there are gifts and services that we can share with the world. And I think that kind of it's a part of this whole shaking up of the life and health as well. I'm not a
Yeah.
health coach, but I, like to live a healthy lifestyle. And I think obviously having good health is really important to living, great life. So it's those four, I call them the four pillars of the big
Yeah.
vision. And it's
Yeah.
women who are either looking for a bit of shake up in one or maybe even all four of those areas. So yeah, it's a bit of a long-winded
Amazing.
answer.
And we were just chatting before I hit record, and I think we're in agreement. There's like no one person that has it all sorted from the start. We're all trying to figure this out. So, how did you sort of get into the online space? Were you helping people with this kind of technique offline, and then started your own business online, or?
Well, actually, I had 10 years in the corporate world as well. Actually, before that, I was a journalist. I worked for the BBC. And
Oh
then
wow.
when I had my children, my son's 19 now, my daughter's 16. So when I was pregnant with my son, that was kind of when I thought, gosh, I'm a mum now. I don't really want to be going to the office every day.
Sure.
But I was always interested in holistic therapies. So I actually trained as a holistic therapist first, doing Reiki, reflexology, and these were at home. I had at home therapy practice, and they were very much like one-to-one treatments. People came to see me in person. I also worked out of a local clinic as well. But then when my daughter came, actually she was a couple of years old, I kind of thought, fast forward a bit. I learned about this new technique called tapping, and this was just, my clients at the time found this really effective. It was amazing, and this was probably around 12 years ago. But this was something that I could do over Skype, or
Sure.
it was mostly Skype sessions I did back then. So I guess my online business, it started, I know exactly when it was. It was kind of around 2015, and there was an app called Periscope. Do you remember
Yes, I
Periscope?
remember Periscope. Yeah,
Yeah.
from Twitter.
So I was quite an early adopter of Periscope. It was strange. I think what I liked about it was the anonymity of it. Facebook Live wasn't even a thing then.
Sure.
And I'd kind of had this broadcasting background, and I kind of thought, oh my gosh, this is an incredible medium. Literally, you can broadcast from your mobile phone. Back then it was linked to Twitter, and I
Yeah.
didn't have a very big Twitter following, but I think if you were producing content that people were watching, the algorithm pushed it out to more people to watch. So I grew quite a big following on Periscope. I literally just showed up a couple of times a day doing these tapping scopes, as they were called.
Yeah.
And they were live, they were instantly deleted, and it was really good fun. And then I kind of invited people who were following me to join a Facebook group. And that's kind of how it started. And it was probably a year of doing these live periscopes before I even made an offer. It was just literally doing these live streams every day because I had fun doing it. I was connecting with people all over the world, and it was so unique. There was nothing else like it at the time.
Yeah, of
So
course.
that was kind of how the online bit came about.
Yeah. Yeah. I always like to ask that question because I know some people that have started online businesses. I ask them about their background. And, oh, I was a software engineer. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that suits you really well to like building an online business. But other people just have a very, very unique background, and I think that obviously led into what you were doing. I mean, how did you put a business around that? Did you find that intuitive? Did you find that easy, or?
Well, I'm trying to think. So when I was doing the periscopes, I was working with a business coach at the time, and was kind of working on high level coaching offers. I had no online course or anything at that time, and at that time, so I also I specialize, or I help people with manifesting and the law of attraction, which we're kind of going to slight woo territory here. But I have to say that is kind of how I built my business, because when I was doing one-to-one, the holistic therapy stuff, often the question I would be, the question I would be pondering on, putting out to the universe was, how can I take my business global? Because I've got this home, actually I was doing some in-person workshops at this time, but they were all pretty local. My client base was probably no more than a 30-mile radius. My marketing was done in coffee shops. And I was putting it out there, how can I take this business global? And, this app Periscope comes along, which gives me the next step. And then I think it was not long after that James Wedmore, I discovered him. And I remember because I had this idea for an online offering, but I had no platform at the time. There was no course hosting platform. And I remember James's advice was just put something out there, make an offer, because Periscope was my audience.
Yeah.
So my offer back then was to create this 8-module tapping program. It's called Tapping into Abundance. And I hadn't even created it back then. So I literally put an offer out there to my Periscope audience and my Facebook community. And I said, look, I've got this idea for a program. And I even charge as a pay what you can afford offer.
Oh, wow.
That's how I put it, because I had no idea what to charge for it.
Yeah.
And I remember 80 people signed up, and I think they paid me anything between £10 and £100. And I think overall I made about £1,500. And it's funny because I just joined James's program, and he said, just put the offer out there. And it was just enough money at the time to pay for the program. And it was just like, oh my gosh. And I hosted it on YouTube, funnily enough, as unlisted videos.
Yeah.
And I took payment through a PayPal button, and I did it all in a private Facebook group. So that was my first online offering.
Amazing. And I bet you can remember that like it was yesterday.
I do, and it was amazing, because first I think, oh my God, there's people all over the world paying me money for this thing I haven't even created yet. And
it's fantastic.
And the videos, I remember they were all filmed. I think it was an iPhone 4, I think it was then. I remember filming in my conservatory these videos, and each was like 10-minute videos. And I remember one video, because I just filmed them, uploaded them, and I did like a module a day. And one video, you could see my washing line in the back garden. And afterwards, it's like, oh my God, this is so unprofessional. It's so embarrassing. But I just put it out there anyway. And funny enough, I often share this story, particularly, I'm not an online business coach, but I do love to help people to get started.
Yeah.
And I'll say, just do it. Don't worry about it being perfect. Honestly, I put an online course out with my washing hanging in the back garden.
Yeah.
I hosted it as, because people think they've got to have it all together. Even to this day, I would say, just do that to get started.
Yeah.
And make it better, improve it as you go along.
Yeah, that's great advice. I mean, people do procrastinate, right? And they think they need to have it all like together and a really sort of sound idea. But I think with like taking action, you get a lot more clarity, and putting something out there like you did. In a previous business, I've put an offer out there without even having made the program yet. And that actually helps with, yes, it gets people interested, and then it helps you also with that feedback and making the program. So yeah, just get started and start messy. That's pretty much the advice that I've been following, and I don't think we all sort of have it together.
No, and I think it's something so authentic about that as well.
Yeah.
And some of my customers today have been with me since then, and they've seen my journey, they've seen my evolution. I look at some of my old YouTube videos and I just laugh at, but I wouldn't delete them because it's
part of your
just
story.
part of the journey.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and so another reason I wanted to talk to you, obviously, Kajabi is something you use currently, and YouTube is something you use. These are the two platforms that I focused on, and I plan to sort of build this business around. And someone said to me, I think it probably was James Wedmore actually, it was like, business is simple, it's not easy, but if you build an audience like of targeted leads and then sell them what they want, they're the two biggest things. And people go straight to like building their thing, building their program, and then go, who do I sell this to now? I hear that so much. And I think it's really skewed with how much time and effort you have to spend building that audience. Compared to like building your program. You build your program maybe once and then refresh it every now and again, but building that audience is the big time consuming piece. Talk to me about YouTube, because I know that's the platform that you chose. Knowing it at the time, rightly or wrongly, I mean, I think it's a great platform, and you've just surpassed, is it 1 million views? Is that right on your channel?
A couple of weeks
so
ago,
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, and I have to So if it's a million views, it's not a million subscribers. It's a massive difference.
Yeah. So I got that bit right. Yeah.
You did. You got that right. It's a million views. And it wasn't, I kind of knew the milestone was coming. So obviously I keep an eye on my numbers. But when it happened, it felt really good. I thought, oh my gosh, 1 million people have watched my videos. Of course, it's not necessarily 1 million. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think, and it's just like, wow, just wow. It's a lot of people. Of course, they're not all customers, but it really, when you hit milestones, like it gives you the, what's the word? It gives you the, I don't know,
the reassurance,
the desire to, keep going and think, oh, it is worth it. That is, people are enjoying. And I know I get great feedback, because it's quite niche what I do.
Yeah.
It's not for everyone, but and I think that's part of the beauty of it as well, that you can literally, within the realms of being legal, you can create videos on anything, and there will always be somebody who will want to watch your stuff.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone if they were thinking about, oh, yes, I know I need to build an audience. Where should I build it? Social media, YouTube? Should I write blogs? Like, if they were looking at YouTube, what would the sort of
here's the funny thing.
Pieces of advice from over the years?
Oh, I wish so I started my YouTube channel. Actually, funny enough, the day I got notified that I had 1 million views, it was within a few days of the 10th anniversary of my YouTube channel. But I launched it, but I was very, very sporadic with it. I didn't really upload anything until, and actually it's funny, it was after Periscope. A lot of Periscope saved a lot of the software, and then they were shutting down an arm of the business called Catch, I think it was, and with a Catch with a K, and then they uploaded it all to your YouTube channel because they were closing it all down, so you didn't lose your old content. They just put it on YouTube as unlisted videos. So I kind of went through and thought, oh, that was a popular Periscope. That was a popular one. So a few of them I toggled, okay, I'll make them public. And I then recorded a few YouTube videos, but I didn't pay any attention to it because after Periscope kind of came out of its heyday, Facebook Live then became a thing. So I went all in on Facebook Lives. I was doing tapping videos on Facebook Live. I was growing my audience on Facebook. And I probably spent a good few years just ignoring YouTube completely and focusing on Facebook. And it's probably around 2020, during lockdown, I thought, actually, do you know what? I upgraded my camera equipment, and I thought, okay, let's put some better quality YouTube videos out there. And that's when I kind of started to get a little bit more serious. But I would say it's only probably been in the last maybe 2 years that I thought, right, probably when I started when I kind of ticked all the boxes and started monetizing my channel, I thought, actually, this is just so worthwhile. And then I could see that people who were finding me, when I was like, well, where did you find me? It was always YouTube. I don't know I need to do a little kind of research, but I'd say it's probably about 80-90% of people find me through YouTube now. Yeah. And they're free leads. They don't have to do any Facebook advertising. But it wasn't an overnight thing. It took time, consistency. But I wish I'd done that 10 years ago.
From the start, yeah.
From the start. Because I could see maybe 4 years ago, that the lifespan of my YouTube videos was probably about 24 hours. Nobody searches old YouTube videos. But to this day, I still have people watching videos that I uploaded 5-6 years ago. They're still getting viewed. They're still getting commented on. And it doesn't really... And I think as long as you continue to put fresh content out there, YouTube will still recommend your old videos and stuff. Yeah.
No, that's great. It's such a powerful tool. And you struck a chord with me then when you said it doesn't happen overnight. YouTube is a long game. So if you can talk about your topic for years to come, I think YouTube is a good platform. And we were chatting just before I hit record, and you were like, oh, I don't think I've got any, because I'm all about systems and process. I'm like, oh, I don't think I've got like many systems. I'm like, you have a YouTube channel that delivers you leads like all the time, right? So that for me is a great one of growing an audience, and 2, growing an email list. That's the most important thing these days.
Yeah, absolutely. no, I'm actually, it's one of these things, I'm actually enjoying it even more now because I
Yeah,
see the traction, I see the results happening. And and to be honest, I think entrepreneurship is a long-term game. And I think too
absolutely.
many people go into it thinking, yes, this, in the words of Del Boy, this time next year I'll be a millionaire. And
Yeah,
it doesn't happen. Um, but I think obviously as long as your needs are met, as long as, financially it's viable,
yeah,
and I would never say ditch the day job and go all in on this.
mm,
Um, there are lots of different ways to kind of get started. But of course, financially, yes, we know that entrepreneur, it's up and down, it's feast and famine. Some
yeah,
months are amazing, some months aren't so good. But the longer you stay at it, the more it's definitely. And I see it from my YouTube stats, and that's just kind of how it's like up, down, up, down. But it's like a wiggly, wiggly up.
yes.
So
Overall, it's the gradient that's moving upwards. Yeah,
exactly. But
yeah,
it's having the mind. It's a very much a game of mindset as well. It's having the the vision, yeah, which I'm all about the vision,
yeah,
taking the action every day, but also knowing how to deal with the off days, the days when I really can't be bothered to
yeah,
do anything today, days
yeah.
when, life gets in the way. To this day, my mum's still not really 100% sure what I do. She doesn't quite get it.
Yeah,
And we are a bit of a strange breed that I
yeah,
think unless you kind of surround yourself with people who are,
exactly.
even though we do different things, people who kind of get
Yeah,
it, they understand.
yeah,
But yes, it's lead acquisition, it's
yeah,
conversions, it's landing pages, it's fixing broken links. It's a whole nother world.
yeah, definitely. And it's not for everyone, right? I mean,
No,
people like the idea of, oh, I'd love to be able to, run my own business and work from wherever, whenever, but yeah, I just don't want to put the consistent work effort in. And so it is not for everyone, but you did strike a chord then when you basically said, don't quit your day job and go like what I call cold turkey, right? I built my first business when I was still serving in the British military, and I was doing evenings and weekends, and that's what I recommend to people. Try something that's above and beyond your day job, so you won't actually make decisions from financial scarcity or fear or anything like that. You can try something and then build it up, but you know. Short of being fired or short of going on maternity leave or something like that, that actually there's a natural sort of pause. I always recommend people to try something and then try and build that thing up until it actually matches your income, and then you can go all in. So, do you
yeah,
agree with that?
absolutely.
Mm.
And I guess my journey into having my own business was two phases. First part was it was all working with clients one to one.
Yeah,
It was, marketing in coffee shops. It was people kind of finding me. Yes, I had to have a website, but it was very much time, trading my time for
sure.
money. I could only serve one person at a time. And then I did workshops. They were all still in person. So yes, it's a better business model. It's still time for money, but coming to but I still have to hire a hotel or a conference room or something, and getting bums on seats, which can be quite stressful when you've got overheads and expenses.
Yeah, yeah,
And I guess, but I think even now, 2024, the landscape is very different from say 2016 when I started,
yeah,
because there are so many incredible tools now, which
yeah,
makes running an online business so much easier than
yeah,
it was. And, I would never even have, back in 2015, 16, I'd never have described myself as technical. I remember my first
yeah,
business coach would talk about getting leads, conversion rates, and I thought, I just didn't know what on earth she was
yeah,
talking about. As far as I'm
yeah,
concerned, someone books an hour of your time, they give you money. And that was my understanding. I was like, I honestly, but I didn't understand at all. It's like, I think this online business is like learning a whole new language.
yeah, absolutely.
And even now, I amaze myself, particularly with Kajabi. I love Kajabi, that I could do a little bit of tinkering. I thought, oh, just done a little funnel. I thought,
Yeah,
10 years ago, a
brilliant.
funnel was a device you poured liquid from. I didn't know what a funnel was.
Yeah,
But yeah, so and yeah, I think just looking at, I'm just thinking about my journey now. Oh, here's me thinking we do still compare ourselves to others, and I think actually, no, I've done not a bad job from considering where I was, just did
Compare
not have a
yourself
clue.
to where you've come from.
I think
Absolutely.
the only
Yeah.
person to compare yourself with is that past version of you. Don't compare
Yeah.
yourself with anyone
Yeah.
else. And that part and the version of you now will always, that past you, if they saw you now, they would be like, oh my God, you are freaking amazing. You are
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
think that's the only comparison you need to make.
Yeah, that's cool. And probably inadvertently you've gone about it the right way in terms of understanding your potential clients, like working as a service provider first, and especially in person. I think you would learn a lot more of their challenges, their goals and everything. A lot of people try and start this online business and go, I'm going to put a course out there and just automate a course, and don't really engage with, if they get customers, don't really engage with them all that often. I like to start as a service provider and then sort of what I call reverse engineering. If you are going to get to putting out an online course, you really need to know your audience inside out and what they want, rather than giving them what you think they want. So you've probably done it the right way round.
Yeah, I don't think I knew I was doing it the right way
Well,
around.
exactly. That's what, inadvertently. Then yeah, but that's what I would recommend people.
Yeah.
Let's get on to a little bit about your technique, and how you help people with your technique. This is really interesting for me because I like to look at holistic things. I had a call the other day with a nutritionist because I like to keep myself healthy, enough sleep, enough exercise, but also looking at the mind as well. So keeping a healthy mind as well. Because I'm running a digital one-person business. So if I get sick, like, things then start to not happen. But just quickly, just overview of what your technique is and how it helps people to sort of have these breakthroughs that you mentioned.
Yeah, so the technique is called emotional freedom technique. EFT for short, but most commonly known as tapping, because we tap on these acupressure points, which has actually got its roots in traditional Chinese medicine. We've all heard of acupuncture, but it's like acupuncture but without needles. We use our fingertips instead of needles to tap on these points. So it's often described as a cross between acupuncture without the needles and modern day psychology, where it's like a talking therapy where we help people overcome problems, overcome challenges, limiting beliefs. I first discovered it actually that it was a really great tool for helping with my hay fever symptoms. I used to have terrible hay fever.
Oh, wow.
May, June time, just awful sneezing. I remember going on a camping holiday one year, and it was like the evening, and my whole evening was ruined because my eyes were puffy, and yeah, it was just constantly taking antihistamines. And then I heard that there was this thing that could be used. I thought, it just sounds a bit too good to be true. Just tapping, and I thought, oh my God, my symptoms have gone. It's amazing. And it was working for migraines as well. So I first discovered it for physical symptoms. And I was already really into the holistic world at the time. So I thought, this is so amazing. Literally, no drugs were involved. It was just tapping on these points and talking. So I trained to become a practitioner. And at the time, it really complemented my therapy practice, because I was just, at that time, I was helping women mostly on their fertility journey, women who were trying to get pregnant throughout the course of their pregnancy, just doing reflexology, which was like foot massage. But then I was kind of, right, try this tapping technique. And they were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I feel great. And I don't know what the transition period was, but eventually I don't do those treatments anymore. I don't do any one-to-one in-person treatments anymore, apart from, very, very close friends and family.
Yeah.
But the other part of my business was also doing vision board workshops as well. So I was really into personal development, the law of attraction. So with my existing client one-to-one base, I would do these evening workshops, and word of that grew. I actually got featured in the Daily Mail. They came to one of my vision board workshops. That was an amazing bit of publicity. And then probably about 6 years ago, I thought, this tapping part of my business, plus the vision boarding, which was about helping people create a vision for their lives, I married the two together, and then my business, Tapping Into Your Big Vision, was born. That's the name of my membership community, Tapping Into Your Big Vision community. It's the name of my business, because we use tapping firstly as a tool to get clear on what we want. So that's the first step. And then once we've made the vision boards, that's, I do this twice a year in my community, help people make vision boards. But then once you've got clear on what you want, you've made the vision board, it's kind of almost just the beginning, really. It's a bit like, right, I know I want to start a business. Here's my website. Here's my online course. We know that's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Then it's like, well, what do I need to do next? It's making that vision a reality. It's clearing mindset stuff, like letting go of the belief I'm not good enough. That's a common limiting belief. Who am I to do this? Comparing myself to others. They're just thoughts. And I am a big believer in the power of words and language. And these are the thoughts that we think, these are the words we speak, and these are the words we write as well. But it's our thoughts that when we leave them unchecked, they can go out of control. Our thoughts are the difference between a good day and a bad day. Our thoughts are the difference between things going right and things going wrong. And it's about intention. It's about energy. It's a little bit woo, but it's not as well. Our thoughts actually create our reality. And, I teach my kids this all the time. It's like the Henry Ford quote, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're
probably
right.
right.
And they're just two different thoughts. It's like, if you're a can-do person, you will generally get it done. But if you're a can't-do, it's too hard, it's too difficult, I'm just going to give up. People fall into one of two camps, I think. But tapping helps people kind of reframe all of that. And I think, find a tool that helps you. But to this day, I find it hard to find something that's as powerful as tapping that can help shift people in such a short space of time.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned you have this is what you do in your membership now. How do people, if someone wanted to reach out to you, where would they go? If any of this sort of resonated with them and they think, hey, I think I could get Melanie to help me here, where would they reach out to you or go?
I offer a whole load of free resources on my YouTube channel. And the truth is, I'd say 99.9%, probably bigger than that. I've had 1 million views recently. I don't have 1 million members in my community. 99.99, goodness knows, however, will never become a client. And that's okay. Because they're probably not a good fit to work with me that closely. And if they find a YouTube a video on my channel that helps them, I'm so happy. I've got a tapping video that helps people sleep at night. And the comments I've got, oh my God, somebody messaged me private, said, Mel, I haven't had a good night's sleep for about 5 years. I did your 1 round of tapping.
Wow.
And I slept all through the night. And I think that's amazing. But do I want them to join my membership community? I don't know, probably not. They're probably not going to want, anything. But if they want to share that video out with people, I'm really happy to grow my YouTube channel with millions of subscribers. And I'm happy with 0.001% joining my membership. I really am. I only want the right people. So
yeah, of course.
I'd say anyone who is looking for kind of help, check out my YouTube channel first. I've literally got tapping videos, full body healing, manifesting money. What else is that? I do these monthly tapping videos, tapping for an amazing January, February, March. I've got tapping videos for, I'm trying to think, hay fever, headaches.
Yeah. I'm going to have to try that one. I get hay fever.
Yeah, do it. And I'd love to hear how you get on.
Yeah.
And that would be the first thing. Just, go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, knock yourself out, and just check out as many tapping videos as you can. If you kind of think, yes, I would like to do a bit more, just reach out to me. It's all on my YouTube channel, how you can reach out to me. Send me a message on Instagram. But honestly, I'm just so happy for my YouTube channel to become bigger, more popular, because I know just through osmosis and the right filtering through that the right people will come and join me. And it is just exactly that. It's kind of women who are at crossroads, who are looking for support to just make changes in their life, but have an amazing online community as well. So yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for your words of wisdom. I'm conscious it's really late in the UK, so I will sort of come to a close here. But lastly, what sort of advice would you give somebody if they are thinking about starting an online business in what they do, their specialty, or have just started it and is a little bit lost and like doesn't know what to do? What sort of advice would you say?
I'd like have a think about the vision for your business, and this could be a short-term vision. I just want to make £5,000 a month. I've got tapping video for that, by the way. Tapping for 5K
Amazing.
a month. Super popular video. I'd recommend maybe tapping along with a video like that, just to get clear on the kind of business you want to build. And I think, firstly, it might just be to replace your old, corporate salary, whatever. You might just have a monthly income goal. Have a goal for yourself. It could be a certain number of clients, whether it's one-to-one or a group, but what does that business model look like? I know really clearly I have a goal of a certain number of members and beyond. I have a goal of YouTube subscribers, and then I want to write books in the future as well. I see those as being the different aspects of my business, but also look at different ways, different income streams as well, which I think is always sensible. If YouTube were to suddenly, God forbid, disappear overnight, that we have different income streams. So look at different incomes, right? So different income streams, a money goal, but also how does it fit into your life and your vision? And I know you, Tim, you're all about the lifestyle as well. It's so important. It's and you do hear about entrepreneurs who say, well, I've replaced 9 to 5 with a 24/7.
Exactly.
And we don't
That's
want that
the trap.
either. Yeah. But it's like, have that vision for what you want it all to look like. And I'm still working towards mine. I'm not there yet. And I don't think any entrepreneur ever is, because you move the goalposts, things change, and maybe you want a bit more ease, a bit more simplicity, but have a vision of what you want it to look like, but then take daily action steps every day. Are you getting the leads in? Are you creating the content? But above all, are you having fun? It's got to be fun.
Absolutely. Great words of wisdom there. So, about having fun. I very much look forward to seeing you in person, in 3D, in another live event soon. That's probably going to be either in London, or if you're going to the Kajabi event in LA, are you looking at going to that one?
Possibly. When is it? Okay. Is it in the autumn?
It's October, I think. So, yeah.
Maybe. You never know. We'll see.
But yeah, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. And I'll link everything up to the notes to this call.
Lovely to chat.
Yeah, great to chat. Some great insights. And look forward to seeing you in 3D very soon.
Thanks Tim.
Mel. Cheers. So that's it. Hopefully you found some value in Melanie's story and how Melanie helps her clients online through tapping or emotional freedom technique. Now, if you still are unsure where to start, I have put a full workshop together for you. It's a free on-demand workshop where if I was to hit the reset button tomorrow, this is what I would do. Simply head to timpeakman.com/workshop, get instant access to this workshop today and start taking action. And similarly, if Melanie's technique is something that interests you and you want to dive a little bit deeper into, I have linked up Melanie's YouTube channel in the notes to this video. So that link once more, timpeakman.com/workshop, get access today. And I look forward to seeing you again on another video soon.